Hello, today we're looking at the Bill of Rights, 1791, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Let's take a look at that. The First Amendment safeguards the basic individual liberties. It protects 5 personal freedoms. First is the freedom of religion, the right to worship any or no religion. Also, the government cannot establish a national religion, separating church and state. Historically, the freedom of religion is rooted in colonial times when many colonists were seeking religious freedom to escape persecution. Now, it also provides freedom of speech, that is, the freedom to speak your mind. It provides freedom of the press. That is the right to put down your ideas in writing. There is the freedom of assembly, the right to gather peacefully in groups. And number 5 is the freedom of petition, the right to petition the government for change. Let's take a look at an easy way to remember the First Amendment is to hold up your hand in a high five position and say the phrase RAPS, where R stands for religion, A for assembly, P for press, P for petition, and S for speech. There are limits to the First Amendment. For example, the government may limit free speech if there is a clear and present danger. Let's take a look at the Second Amendment. The right of people to keep and bear arms, weapons, and for the states to keep a well-regulated militia, the National Guard. The federal and state government regulate how people may keep and bear arms. The Third Amendment. Congress may not force citizens to put up, that is, quarter or house troops in their homes. So it reads, no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner prescribed by law. Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures of one's home or property. Law enforcement government must have probable cause and or a warrant. The Fifth Amendment to the Constitution protects the rights of the accused. A person may not be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. This means that certain legal procedures must be carried out before a person can be punished. An accused person cannot be forced to say things that will be used against him or herself. That is self-incrimination. Hence the term, I plead the fifth. No person can be subject to double jeopardy, that is, being tried for the same crime twice. Eminent domain. The government has power over property in its territory. If the government must take your property, it must reasonably compensate you for whatever they take. Let's take a look. And here are examples of the Miranda rights. The first one is the right to remain silent, which was already protected in this amendment of the Constitution. Let's take a look at the Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment guarantees a speedy, fair, and impartial trial to all persons accused of a crime. They must be told of the charges against them, have the right to a lawyer, and the right to a trial by jury. The Seventh Amendment to the Constitution provided for a jury in a civil or non-criminal case. The Eighth Amendment to the Constitution protects individuals from cruel and unusual punishment and excessive bails and fines. The Ninth Amendment. The Ninth Amendment says that just because the Constitution lists some specific individual rights, that does not mean that citizens do not also hold other rights. So it reads, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. And we have a lot of so-called rights over there in the green. In the blue, we have the rights given to us by the Bill of Rights. Remember, the Bill of Rights gives us rights that the government could see as problematic to their power, but with these rights, we can assemble and criticize the government in many ways without conforming to it, and the government doesn't have a right to prevent us from criticizing it. The 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment protects the rights of the states. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Federalism divides the power between the states and national government. States' rights. So let's take a look at that Venn diagram. Americans live under both national and state governments. Right in the middle, we have the shared powers. Both the state and the national government have power to collect taxes, establish courts, regulate interstate commerce, regulate banks, borrow money, provide for the general welfare, and punish criminals. And I'll let you read the exclusive rights of the national and the state powers. And that will be it. Thank you so much.